Hello, my name is Richity, and welcome back to episode 2 of my Challenge Vaulthunters series. Now that I'm level 11, the challenge I think is going to change a bit. Before, it was just no swords. I wasn't allowed to use any type of sword, any type of physical weapon at all, rather. But this time, the challenge is going to be complete pacifist. I think I said last episode that I thought that would be a bit boring, but I think I've actually changed my mind. Maybe the vaults will end up being slightly boring, but I feel like you guys probably aren't going to see much of the actual vaults anyway. I think most of the fun is more in building the build. And there are a few abilities that I have kind of wanted to try out, but I've never really gotten a good opportunity to. So those two abilities are Entropic Bind and Mana Shield. I'm thinking I'm going to mainly use those two abilities, and then I'm also going to put at least 1 point into Fear in order to get enemies off me if I need to. I guess first I should explain the challenge. So, this challenge is going to be completely pacifist. If enemies end up dying due to something else, then that won't count, but I am not allowed to directly coerce them into dying in any way. I don't even think there are any other ways an enemy can die if I don't purposefully go and kill them. So basically, what the two abilities that I have do is Entropic Bind is going to slow down all mobs in a radius. I'll probably put quite a few points into this one. In fact, first things first, I'm going to get rid of these points in Fireball, and the points in Intelligence. That gives me 10 points to spend, which is actually a lot more than I thought. So first off, I'm just going to put 1 point into everything I know I'll want, and then I can see how exactly they scale and how useful they'll be. So, Entropic Bind is actually something that is it takes its effect over time, or like, it's active as long as I have the mana to activate it, and it takes 0.5 mana per second. I don't know what the base mana regeneration is. I'm going to assume it is 1 mana per second though, which means at this moment I can actually use Entropic Bind. I think I'm going to upgrade it twice though. I want it to have a good amount of range, and with this it gives me 2 blocks of range, and it'll still give me at least 0.4 mana per second. Along with these boots, that should be 0.6 mana per second, I would think. And then next up, I guess I'll look at Fear. So, Fear actually has much more of a radius than I thought it did. Oh, I was looking at the distance before. That's just how far they get pushed back. So, I don't actually know how much I'll want to upgrade this. Probably enough so that they get pushed back a good amount for a good amount of time. Probably at least 3 seconds is what I want. So, if I do 2 upgrades, that'll bring it up to 3 seconds. And then this, it already gives me, or what this does is I spend mana and it'll give me basically extra hearts, which is, I don't know, it seems kind of fun. So I think I'll upgrade this. I guess I'll go 3 points in each one, why not? And then I really don't know if there are any other abilities that I would want. Probably putting another point into heal would be nice. I don't really need it. Although Ice Bolt might be nice. It doesn't deal any damage, but it can freeze or like slow down a single mob for a limited time. So I think maybe that is actually the best option for me right now. I could maybe go into something in here, but yeah, I don't know if there's anything that would really be useful. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do with the last point. Alright, and actually, before I get into the next vault though, well, first of all, I need to see what this next vault is going to be, or in order to get it. The rabbit and melon is pretty annoying actually. That might take me a bit of time to get, but I'll figure it out. But anyway, I can actually progress on some quests right now. Alright, and there it is, the Vault Artisan Station. So what this does is it allows me to re-roll my gear. I do that using the vault plating and these focuses. Each of the focuses does one thing, and there are actually a lot of them, with these 8 being common ones that you'll find pretty often, and then these ones being rare ones that have very unique effects. Wild will randomize all of the effects on it. Amplifying will fill an empty modifier slot. None of my gear has an empty modifier slot, but you can actually make empty modifier slots with Nullifying that will randomly remove 1 modifier. But speaking of gear actually, I do need to decide what I want in my offhand. Is this wand isn't going to be useful if I'm not attacking. I'm actually thinking I want to do a focus. I would like one better than this. I guess I could craft a focus. I do wonder if it will be useful at all. First off, let's scrap these weapons. If I scrap these weapons, I'll get more vault scrap, and maybe that can increase my proficiency. Oh, and this is another type of focus that will randomize the modifiers, but guarantee a specific one. Not quite enough. But yeah, I'll craft 2 focuses. Actually, that might... A common is pretty good. And I got an almost max roll on the mana, which is very good. I would like more modifier slots, though. We'll go 1 more. And that's a rare. That's a really bad mana roll. But it did max roll on the cooldown reduction, which is probably pretty good for this build, but it has a level in Frost Nova, which is pretty interesting. I don't actually think I want to re-roll this, but actually, probably what I want on this, I don't even think I want cooldown reduction. I think mana is going to be a much bigger issue. Yeah, so I think I actually do want to re-roll this, and I want to get mana regen in the suffixes. Yeah, already this is going to be extremely expensive. Healing efficiency isn't bad, although that's a bit of an odd roll. Oh, actually, no, never mind. This is going to be kept. It gives me an extra level in Entropic Bind. So I think this, I'll definitely keep this. The healing efficiency will help me stay alive. The durability doesn't really matter. I would prefer to not have it, but I think the extra level in Entropic Bind is worth it. So I think instead, I'm going to try and get mana regen on my other gear. Once again, though, I would like a better chestplate and leggings. I'll keep the leggings, but actually I'm going to build a new chestplate just because my current one, it is a level 0, so I think it's worth it. And this, I think the armor roll there is really good, but I really need mana regen. And there it is. I really don't like the increased attack damage, as that's useless, but the armor's good and the mana regen's good, so I'm going to keep it. And I guess I may as well... Actually, I think I even want to re-roll the Omega one. The health is nice, but pretty much everything else. The increased area of effect is also nice, but almost all of it is useless to me. So, there we go. I get mana regen and 2 extra armor. Once again, the increased attack damage. There we go. I got rid of it with the nullifying focuses. Unfortunately, I'm out of those, so I just need to hope to not get it. But I'll take it. The health is good. I would have... Oh, I got rid of the armor. That's not great. It's probably better before I rerolled it, but I think I need the mana regen. And anyway, last thing, I will craft leggings, and that gave me exactly what I wanted first try. So yeah, I think that's what I'll go into this vault with. But let's see what quests we can get done. I already know I got this one done. Oh yes, it wanted me to reroll something. I probably should have thought about that before I rerolled everything. And the alchemy table would be very nice, but it's really annoying. So I really don't want to do it. I'll show you the recipe, but you need, I guess you do need melon. It's actually not too hard to get most of these things, but I haven't made another portal, and I need to get both a gas tier and another wart. So I would need to find a fortress, and I just don't feel like doing that. So we're going to move on for now. This one, I believe, is, yeah, just a free one, and it gives me 4 gold. That's really nice. I already showed this. Basically, with gold, you can remove your abilities and get the skill points back. And I think I talked about the black market earlier. That's what I can use the shard pouches with. And I think it's actually a pretty easy craft. Yeah, just, oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that is usually a pretty easy craft. The issue, of course, is that I don't have any chromatic iron. So in the vault, you can actually find a chromatic iron caves room, so I'm going to need to find that. I probably don't really want to spend time on it, but there's not much else better that I can do with my time, so I think it's probably worth it if I find one. Anyway, now it's time to find what I need for this quest. So I'm going to need to fly around to find a jungle, and I don't know where rabbits spawn, but I'm going to need to find one of those as well. Fortunately, I do think this mod has the, this mod pack has the Nature's Compass, which I'm pretty sure I can craft one, and that'll make my search much easier. If you've never seen it before, this lets you search a biome, and you can search for it. closest jungle apparently is 2,000 blocks away. Alright, so I did it again. I pressed pause in my recording and forgot to continue it. So, thankfully, I mean, it's not that far into the vault, but this is a new vault objective called Light the Braziers. And basically what it does is, I'll have to explain it after that creeper is gone. Yes, anyway, now that I'm safe, yes, so Light the Braziers is basically, you go through the vault like usual, but each room will have a brazier. And each brazier will have a positive modifier and a negative modifier that it adds to the vault. It's random each time, but once you get enough to complete the objective, then you have to actually leave the vault rather than the objective just being completed automatically. But it's pretty interesting. The first one I picked up, it gave me less healing efficiency, but more XP, which is pretty good for my current situation, as what I'm really looking for is just a ton of XP to get to level 20. And of course, this room is another one with this room has a baby, and the baby zombies are really annoying to deal with, as they're really fast, so I'm just going to leave that room rather than dealing with it. But anyway, I'm going to stop yapping and let you guys just see how the rest of this vault goes. Alright, so in the end, I was able to complete it, as you can see, but unfortunately, the entropic bind doesn't work very well. I kind of thought it was going to be a much more dramatic slow. Maybe it was doing more than it felt like it was doing. I'll probably keep it. I guess it probably was helping keeping mobs from like actually attacking me a lot, but I didn't really feel it all that much. But I did manage to level up once from that vault. With this point, I'm going to go Vein Miner, as it's really annoying to do like anything without Vein Miner. But anyway, I don't think I have anything else. Let's see what's in this crate. I did get the augment, which is interesting. I don't think anything else here is really going to be useful, but of course I already had one of those augments though. Probably never going to use it. I never want a sand theme. Although it was interesting because the creepers, I could use them to blow up mobs. Maybe that's not really in the spirit, but I mean, if the creeper just happens to blow up and kill a few mobs, like, is that really my fault? But yeah, none of these are really that useful for me right now. And I was not able to complete the quest either, as it was a brazier vault instead of the elixir vault, so unfortunately I still can't make the black market. Not that it would really do me any good, because it's not like I can get any soul shards, but you know, it would have been nice to have to spend the soul shards that I do have. But anyway, I think probably it's best to just head into another vault. And I have just realized I've been playing on normal difficulty because I forgot to change it. So I'll be playing on hard for the rest of this. I think really the main thing that changes is that vault dwellers are going to throw bricks at me if they can't reach me, which might get really annoying, but it's all for the challenge. Alright, so it took a while, but I did finally manage to find the beetroot seeds. And then I also found this dog. I was killing skeletons, so I had some bones to tame it, and now he's going to be here. I don't know what to call him, so if any of you have any ideas, feel free to leave it down below. And I'll make sure to feature your comment. I've actually had these dogs before in this mod pack, though. That's kind of fun, because you can give them swords. I don't know, like, what they actually do, because he wasn't helping me fight while I was fighting skeletons, but, I mean, it looks pretty cute. Alright, and without further ado, I think it's time that I enter the next vault. So I'm really hoping that this will be a elixir vault. It could be braziers, but I don't think I have anything I can use to, yeah, I can't make sure that it's elixir because I don't have the right seal. So yeah, we're just gonna have to hope that it randomly rolls elixir so we can finish this quest. Or the, bounty. Alright, let's hope this goes smoothly. Unfortunately, it is a brazier vault. Okay, that shouldn't have happened. I don't know why, but you see, my mana shield should have activated. I was pressing C. I guess I also had taunt, which I probably should have used. There it is. So, I'm not sure why, but the abilities just don't work if the button is also bound to something else, which is pretty annoying, because I sometimes play this in my, like, personal world. I have a different build, so I use different abilities. But if I used different keys, it would be really annoying. So every time I join this world, I have to redo all my keybinds, which could be worse. They did add something recently where you can just hover over it and press the keybind, which I think I mentioned before. Anyway, not much I can do besides just hop into the next one. At the very least, I do still have the beginner's grace, so I'm not losing my items yet. Anyway, let's head right into it. Once again, hoping for an elixir vault. This time, since Mana Shield is working, I should be able to survive. Hopefully. I am very bad at this. That one was actually looking good too. That's weird though. I could have sworn that you still got XP if you died. It must be because of Beginner's Grace. But yeah, that's pretty annoying because that means if I don't manage to complete a vault, I'm gonna be stuck here. I think probably what I need to do is make some changes to my build. I have enough money for it. Like I'm honestly not sure whether or not to keep the Entropic Bind. I do like, because if I take any points out of Taunt, I'm gonna have less duration. If I take any points out of Entropic Bind, I'm going to have less range, which is not gonna be great. I could take the point out of Ice Bolt. I'm honestly thinking Nova would be the better skill for this, or Frost Nova in particular. It has a pretty big range, and will freeze everything in place around me. Although, I feel like that's not even going to be that useful, because if they're standing in place, they might still be blocking an exit. I think that having them slowed down is actually going to be better. Thankfully, this crystal is pretty easy, so I can just get right back into a vault. I'm wondering if maybe the theme is going to like really matter. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to get rid of that elixir quest. I think just doing the brazier vaults is going to be better, as I can complete the objective without really doing much looting, and that will hopefully keep me safe that will be able to get me experience while still keeping me safe from the mobs. Though this is my only seal, so I'm gonna need to complete this vault. Oh. Never mind, apparently you can't do that anymore. Okay, yeah, so I'm just gonna need to hope I get lucky with the Seal of the Scout. In that case, I'll probably just keep that quest in case I do get elixir, and I'll still try to complete it. So there's really not anything I can do in a vault besides loot. Having plenty of blocks also is important for this, because if I don't have enough, then I won't be able to like build around the mobs. Which I try not to do that too much, because it's kind of like cheesy. But if there are any dwellers that like that kind of, I can't do it, so they throw bricks at me, that'll knock me off any scaffolding that I build. But it works in a pinch, and I feel like that's really the only way I can play. I'm starting to think that maybe I was right last episode when I said that a pacifist challenge would be a bit boring. But now I'm sticking with it. So let's hope this one goes better. I do have some ideas to improve the build if I manage to level up a few times from this. But the most important thing is going to be getting the objective done. Alright, so in the end, I decided to just solely focus on the objective. And I realized I hadn't actually fully explained how the elixir vaults work, as a big part of them is that every way you can get elixir gives a random amount each vault. So if you can find the one that gives the most elixir and focus on it, then it's much easier to complete the vault. And in that vault, the one that gave the most was the ores. So I decided to just focus on that and then complete it, as there's really not much else I can do in the vault when I can't kill anything. I'm glad I decided to do this challenge early, because if I had saved it for later, then it would have been really annoying, as the levels take much more XP to level up. But anyway, I'm gonna de-loot and then see what I got. Alright, so I just finished looting. I also opened that elixir, or not the bounty crate, which really only gave, I think it gave chestplate, a magnet, and the chromatic iron. But anyway, let's see what's in here. Just a few pieces of gear that I'm probably not going to use. Except the leggings, maybe. No, actually, these are just worse as they are. I could roll them better, but I think the implicit armor on these leggings I think is much better, and it's not really worth re-rolling those. This focus is pretty interesting. So yeah, this focus gives a level in Vein Miner and Fear, so that is 2 levels as opposed to the 1 that this gives. And also some cooldown reduction, which isn't like the best thing, but it might be slightly useful. But that actually gives me an extra point that I can use in something else. So I think I'm actually going to swap it. As I can, yeah. So I can take a point out. Oh. Okay, actually, I cannot take a point out of Vein Miner. Because if I take a point out of Vein Miner, then I don't have Vein Miner. I wonder if it's worth it then. May as well. I guess the extra Vein Miner will be useful. I guess having the 2.5 radius on Tropic Bind would be nice. But I think I'm actually just going to keep that as is, and I think I'm going to put the point into something else. You know what, actually? I think that putting a point into haste might be my best option here. And let me explain my reasoning there. You see, I could go something that'll slow down the mobs more, but I feel like there's really not much more I can do with that. If I instead go a point into haste, I can mine the chests faster, and I don't need to be around the mobs as long. And to be honest, a shield probably would be better than a focus, but I think I'm going to stick with the focus anyway, because I don't usually use them, so I think it's more interesting. Oh, and you know what? Actually, I'm going to use that mining speed magnet. The implicits aren't as good, but I don't know. I guess the extra pickup range is really nice that this has, but maybe the faster mining speed will be better. I'll keep this one with me. I don't actually know if I can swap it in a vault, but I think it'll be better. Or I think better safe than sorry. Another hammer size jewel. Those are pretty useful once you're making big tools. Anyway, now that I got some more stuff, I think I want to make the black market. So let's see what's offering right now. Nothing I can afford, and probably nothing I would use. I guess actually, I can afford the magnet now. I could save my soul shards, as I'm not going to get any more until level 20. But if I get like mining speed and pickup range on here, that would be really nice. Yeah, so the implicits are actually just worse than the one I have, but it does have more prefixes. So if I can get a good mining speed, like I'll take a 7 or something, if I can also get the extra pickup range. So I'm going to roll it a few times and see if I can get anything good. Okay, well it's not range, but it is speed, which, I mean, yeah, it's not as good. But it also has the max mining speed. I mean, in all, it is better than the one I have equipped. So I'm definitely going to equip it. And it also has the copiously, which gives a chance for double ores when you mine. Double vault ores, specifically. Alright, but let's get right back into the vault. Rabbit. That's almost even worse than the beetroot that I had earlier. So something pretty convenient that the Vaulthunters mod actually adds is the animal jars and animal pens. Basically what this does is it allows you to put any passive mob into a jar and then into a pen where you can easily breed them and like kill them for their drops, which is much more convenient than breeding them and leading them somewhere where you keep them in a pen, especially for something as annoying as a rabbit. Once you have the animal in the pen, you can just right click on them to breed them, and then there's always a cooldown, but I'm pretty sure that the vanilla cooldown is 5 minutes, so it also lets you do it a bit faster. One thing to watch out for though is that like there are 3 in here. It's only going to make 1 more if I breed them again, but it's still going to consume 3 carrots if I have more than 3 in a stack. So it's always, if you have a limited amount of resources, it's usually worth making sure that you only use the amount of carrots that are going to be useful. Base salt. I got worried for a second because I thought I'd need to go to the nether, but I'm actually pretty sure that there's a biome here, this one over here, that actually spawns with basalt. Might just be smooth basalt. This is just smooth basalt. I don't think there's a way I can turn this back into regular basalt. If I had a pulverizing gem, I could. Which, like, it might actually be nice to get a pulverizing gem. The problem is, I'm pretty sure it requires, like, 8 gemstones or something. And I really don't have that many jewels, so it might not be great to throw that many away. Because it's like, not every jewel gives a gemstone. I only have 8, yeah, so unless I have some gemstones already. Oh, wait. I don't even have the crafting table. Let me craft that really quick. So I'm pretty sure, oh, this actually gives me 8 gemstones. So that's pretty convenient. Yeah, I'm just gonna craft the pulverizing gem. That way I don't need to go to the nether. To be honest, that's probably not worth it in the slightest. But I'm kind of lazy, so like... Oh, and basically what this pulverizing gem does is that it will basically work like a crusher mechanic. Like a lot of mods have that. Like Create, for example. It basically just does those recipes. For example, I can crush cobblestone into gravel and then gravel into sand, so that I don't need to go out looking for either of those. Anyway, let's get this complete, and hopefully the next one will be a brazier vault. Oh, this time, unless I go looking for a ruined portal, or actually know where there are some, but it'll just be way easier to make a portal to get the netherrack. And then I'll have to do some fishing, and I think I have copper, yeah. So that'll be pretty easy. But anyway, I still need to pick out a bounty, I know, so I'll do that and then hop right in. Let's hope this works a little bit better. Alright, so I think this one looks good. It'll bolster my emerald supply. I was running low, so that'll be nice. And that'll get me some more chromatic iron. Now I've just got to hope that it is actually light the braziers. The next interesting thing is going to happen once I'm at level 20. Really, the rest of this video is just going to be me trying to get to level 20. I'm going to continue doing the challenge, obviously, but I think the most interesting part really is finding the build and getting that to work. So yeah, I'll just kind of show you guys some highlights of the journey to level 20. And after level 20, I think I'm going to increase the XP gain, just so that the series doesn't drag on too long. And I think every time it starts getting slow, I'll probably increase it a bit. But anyway, I'll get a few crystals made and get these vaults done. As you can see behind me, I got a lot of crates from it. Most of them are bounty crates, I think, but there are a few completion crates. And then I also accidentally opened one, so it's the good, like the interesting contents of it are in here. And then I also got some more of these animal pens for some of the recipes I needed, as well as a couple more pouches, just to make everything easier. But anyway, yeah, I'm now level 20, so I'll open up all these crates and I'll see if I get anything good for them. And there are also some other good things that I got in these two shulker boxes. Rather than opening each one individually, though, I'm just going to open all of them and we'll see everything that I got. So you can see a lot of vault gear here and some gems. There's a repair core I got from one of the bounty crates. A lot of money right there. So let's just open it up and see if I have anything especially interesting. And then yeah, there was also this gear. So I only got one augment from that. Not that I really am going to use it. Basically, this just lets you change the theme, which they all have different enemies, which have different stats, as you can see on here, as well as most of them have a special perk. For example, you can find diamond caves in that one. I seem to get a lot of chromatic iron, which is nice. The emeralds will be nice. And yeah, I also got a ton of gear just throughout the vaults. I think this is all stuff that I got throughout the vaults. I've just been saving all the gear. Really, the only things I put away were like the really basic materials. I got a lot of good things from other things in the vault. Mostly, like, I got these 4 echo gems, and I think the bomb ignite, especially from pillaging the braziers that spawn throughout brazier vaults. And I'm going to actually get rid of this rain. Anyway, yeah, so I got a lot of knowledge essence. I think I might have put some of this away. I don't think I saved all of it in here. But then the 3 black chromatic steel is going to be really useful later, and the bitter lemon is going to also be really nice later on. One thing probably I should craft right now is the identification stand. I think there's a quest for it, so let me make sure I have the quest before I craft it. But it's pretty simple. I think I should be able to do it. Oh, and besides that, I also got the level 20 quest, but yeah, the identification stand quest is right here, so before I accept this, I will grab this. And there it is. So basically, this just lets you immediately identify everything in your inventory. And if you right-click it with an inventory, like a pouch, then it'll identify everything in the pouch. But first, I'm going to open this jewel pouch, just because I don't want this to be random. Yeah, the max rolled range jewel will probably be the most useful. Actually, first let's craft some chests so I can save all of it. I think this should be enough for all of it, so let's just identify it all. So, since a lot of these are actually kind of underleveled, like this one's 16, and I think there's some 15s. Oh, there's a level 13 one right here. Since some of them are really underleveled, what I really want are these ones that have the green icon at the top right. These ones are living, which means that when I complete a vault with them, they will level up to my current level. Which I did get. These are going to be pretty nice, I think. As I said, I'm probably going to save all of them, so I'm going to actually put everything in the chest. So, I guess I'm not going to save everything because I never use axes, so I'm going to just immediately trash those. But let's see if there's anything especially good in this. As I said, these are going to be really nice later on because I'm going to need some good, I'm going to need to build some more armor for the next challenge, as I do plan on having the next challenge where I can actually fight mobs, as I feel like that's a big part of, or a lot of the fun in the mod pack is actually fighting them. I do think it's worth it. I don't know how much things change from like level 16 to 20. It looks like the armor roll is the same, so I could still use level 16 things. The armor is mainly what I'm worried about. It looks like a lot of the things don't really change between those two levels. I don't know if I have any level 20s to really see if there are any significant changes. Oh, no, I guess I wouldn't have any level 21s. I think level 19 is the highest, but still doesn't look like anything's changed from level 19, so I guess I'll just pick out a few of these that will be the best for building in the next episode. Probably the rare boots I'll take, especially with the max roll on armor. I might end up wanting more ability power. I might not as well. We'll have to see what I actually go into. I could go for the living chestplate here, but I think I'm just going to go with the regular one. Maybe if I end up needing one, I will, but I should find better chestplates even in the vaults. So yeah, I'll probably just use these. Like, it doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to roll them a lot in order to get them to be actually really good. I'm probably going to roll them a lot in order for them to be actually very good. But anyway, I'm trying to remember if there was anything else. I think that's really it. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do for the next episode in terms of a challenge, but hopefully you guys can help me out with that if you want to leave any ideas in the comments, as I've, said a few times. The next episode is probably going to end up being Create Academy again, as I've been wanting to get back into that. I think this has definitely helped me kind of stay motivated to do that. I might also switch up my kind of schedule for, or kind of my workflow for recording and editing videos, as what I've been doing is recording the entire video and then getting into editing it, but I've realized it might work better if I just edit it, like, in between recording sessions. It'll kind of remind me of what I did in the last part of the recording, so that they kind of mesh more seamlessly together. But anyway, I guess that'll do it for me for this time, and I'll catch you later. Bye!